There could be real Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news dropping any day now. Let's break it down. Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka A-Drop. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today we are diving into the latest of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and the Generation 9 developments that are taking place in the Pokemon world. We've got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about today, including some new rumors, potential leaks, and something that may indicate that we're getting news as soon as tomorrow for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So be sure to show some love and hit that like button down below, and of course subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I make Pokemon videos every single day. We are closing in on 1 million subscribers, so make sure you guys get in before 1 million. And before I dive in, I gotta tell you guys about PokeLoot, which is dropping right now with this video. Our brand new PokeLoot crate features the Ancient Mew t-shirt, a limited edition design, as well as 2 gold Mew cards, a pack of Pokemon cards, and 2 plushies, a Mew and Mewtwo plushie, for a great price of just $39. You can check it out at pokeloot.net. Incredibly limited quantities, guys. I think we have less than 400, so they're gonna go pretty quick. Check it out at pokeloot.net. But let's talk about Scarlet and Violet news, and you guys go pick up your PokeLoot in the meantime. Okay, so this is some big stuff here, and I'm gonna say that I feel like this could be very legitimate. So PokeExperto comes out and says that on April 24th, there's going to be an episode of the Japanese show Pokidoko, which will feature the latest Pokemon game news according to the show's summary. It is likely that this information will be officially revealed beforehand. They also go on to say that the key phrase of this is the latest Pokemon game information. Now, for those who don't know, the show Pokidoko, it seems as though is kind of like what Pokenchi used to be. And oftentimes in the past, they've come out with these statements saying, we're gonna show the latest Pokemon news or whatever it is. And a lot of times it's the same stuff we've seen before. However, we have not had any Pokemon Scarlet and Violet news in months. It has been since February, which leads a lot of people in the community to believe that there is a chance that we're gonna get a Pokemon trailer this week prior to the reveal of this Pokidoko show. So basically, Pokemon comes out with a trailer, they reveal some new information, and then Pokidoko covers it on their show. Now it is very possible, just to put it out there, that Pokidoko covers the initial reveal of Scarlet and Violet going back to what we saw in February. However, like I said, a lot of people in the community are thinking there's a chance that we get a trailer this week. Now, remember, one of the things that's missing from Scarlet and Violet at this point is we do not have the legendaries on the cover. We do not have cover art, we do not have legendaries. So normally, while I would say, oh, we probably won't get news until May or June or whatever it may be, it is very feasible that we get, box art. That's a possibility. So I would say just stay glued to the channel, guys, over the next, week or so before the 24th. There's a reason why we're thinking maybe the 19th, which is tomorrow, which I'll talk about in this video as well. But stay glued to the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe and notifications turned on. If anything drops, I'll have it for you guys here as soon as possible. So have no fear on that. But like I said, seems like there could be Pokemon news this week. I wouldn't get too excited about it, but it seems very possible at the very least. And taking it a step further, Soul Silver Art actually reports on saying, guys, it may be time. I had a tweet about Ku hinting this plan for tomorrow, but this makes it even more likely. And you might be like, what does Ku have to do with this? Well, Ku, the Chinese Riddler, has put out a lot of different hints. And if you don't know, the Legends Arceus guidebook came out, and there's been a lot of images of that circulating. It's not a leak, it's actually out. And Riddler Ku posts some pictures of Volo and of Ingo and makes the comment bold, ... I don't necessarily think there's any significance to that. But then he goes and responds, Volo is 190 centimeters, ... Wow. So listen, this is the Riddler, right? Is this a riddle, or is he just simply commenting on his height? I don't know. But the number 190 centimeters, to call that out specifically, is very, very strange. Could it be that this is a hint towards the fact that the 19th, which is tomorrow, has a trailer for us for Scarlet and Violet ahead of this Pokidoko presentation show that's going to be taking place on the 24th? I don't know. Probably a stretch, just being real. It's very much so probably a stretch, but I do think it's worth mentioning, right? I think it's very much so worth mentioning because anything the Riddler says, we're going to obviously investigate it because we found that things that we thought didn't mean anything turned out to be actual riddles and vice versa. So we'll have to wait and see. Again, I would just be prepared. Every day I'm going to be waking up prepared for Pokemon news this week. And you guys, like I said, stay glued to the channel because we'll have it here. From there, if you guys didn't see the video I made last week about the Chinese uncle, there was a post that was made kind of summarizing what this Chinese uncle has said. This is very, very intense stuff here. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here, but this is basically a summary from the Asian Pokemon community that's been spreading like wildfire. Again, I covered this in another video. I'll put the link in the description below, but basically there's a lot of things about this game having a tremendous amount of new Pokemon. It talked about the starter final types being Grass Dark, Fire Ghost, Water Fighting. Talk about the mascot legendaries being Dragon Fighting, Dragon Electric, so on and so forth. There's a lot, you know, the Ratoncito Perez, the Minotaur based Pokemon, all sorts of stuff, right? Well, Eclipse has come out and says, I can confirm these leaks are real, and says he omitted some things about the mechanics, but I do believe that this is real. So based on what Eclipse has seen, they think it's legit. Now, whether Eclipse is a legitimate insider, we don't really know, but there has been things in the past that Eclipse seemingly has gotten right. So at this point in time, we're going to keep an eye on this. Eclipse then goes on to post 3 other posts. I don't know if they're just trying to piggyback off the Riddler, just trying to get people talking, whatever it is, but they make a post saying, imagine if competitive Pokemon was played on triple battles, full team versus full team. Attention, I'm talking about triple battles, not rotation battles. And a lot of people in the community that are speculating that maybe this is some sort of a hint towards something in Scarlet and Violet. Are triple battles returning? Are triple battles a big part of the story? Are they a big part of the mechanic? Is there something going on with triple battles that is important for us to make note of here? So I think it's worth looking into this and considering what triple battles could be for Scarlet and Violet. They then go on to post, hey guys, do you have any Sneasel cards? The old ones are pretty cool. Feel free to comment with yours. Well, a lot of people are taking a look at this and saying, what does Sneasel have to do with any of this? Like, Sneasel just got a form, obviously with Hisuian Sneasel and Sneasler. What old cards are we talking about? And there's been a link in the community, people diving into this thinking maybe Eclipse is talking about Delta species cards, which are from the EX era. I actually happen to have a Dragon Frontier box right there, actually. From the EX era, which had Delta species Pokemon where types changed for these Pokemon, and there's a lot of thoughts that maybe the Scarlet and Violet mechanic has to do with changing types. So again, we're kind of, you know, grasping at straws here with these connections, but I do think it's worth mentioning. And last but not least, Eclipse makes another post saying it's rainbow time with a rainbow emoji. And a lot of people are wondering, what does rainbow time mean? I think there's definitely some sort of a tie-in to the light spectrum or rainbows, with Scarlet and Violet being on opposite ends of the spectrum. There's a lot of theories and talk about how that's all going to play out, but we'll have to see what this ultimately means when, you know, due time, once we get more information or the next trailer for Scarlet and Violet. But all in all, stay tuned because I do think there's a possibility we get something this week. So that's the latest in what's going on with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Obviously, the new show, Pokidoko, featuring on April 24th, the latest Pokemon game news. So we'll have to wait and see what that turns into. Is that actually going to be something new, or is it going to just be covering what would happen in February? Time will tell. The Riddler talking about Volo being 190 centimeters. Could that be a sign towards us getting, you know, some news on the 19th, which is tomorrow in April? I don't know. I think we still have those box legendaries to be revealed, the box art to be revealed for Scarlet and Violet, and really anything. So we'll have to see once this news cycle kicks off. It could be in April. I was thinking more May, June, but time will tell, of course. So stay tuned to the channel. Pick up your Pokeloot at pokeloot.net. You don't want to miss out on that. It's a great deal. You get the shirt, the 2 plushies, the 2 gold cards, and a pack of Pokemon cards. It's an awesome deal, so pick it up right now. Very limited quantities. And that's gonna be that for me, guys. My name is Dan. I also go by A-Drive, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.